The transmission on my Craftsman mower that I pull boats and whatnot stopped working, which wasn't surprising because I'm pulling so much more weight than it's supposed to weigh. So I had a much harder time finding a new transmission than I thought I would. So I thought I would just take this one apart and see what maybe is broken. So there's just all these bolts on top. There's some underneath too, two of them. And then it's just got a RTV gasket that glues it together. And so what you can see is this spider gear here turns with the pulley and the belts, and that meshes with this one here, which in turn moves everything here. And this is what shifts everything. So this goes in here like this, and then this slides back and forth. And what it does is it pushes a key along a channel here, which engages each of these gears here, which then mesh with the corresponding gear over here. So the power comes in here, and then it meshes with one of these gears, and that sends power down this shaft to this gear, which turns this, which in turn moves the axle up there. And you can see this is the differential here. So what I think might be happening is that this gear right here seems to have some play in it, and I think it might have just spread out. Well, it turns out I was totally wrong. It wasn't the transmission at all. As a matter of fact, it was just the key that goes into the axle and the wheel that had come out and caused my tractor to stop moving. If you're interested in how this transmission works, well, keep watching. If you just want to fix your lawn tractor, go check to see that the key is still in the axle. The one flaw in that logic is I didn't find any broken pieces or anything, but I am going to try. There was no circle clip on this piece here. These all just sort of come out, but you can see there's no circle clip there, and it seems like there's a lot of play. So I'm going to try to shim that closed a little bit and see if I can't get this thing to work again. I will point out one more thing is these fell out when I opened it up, this spring and this ball, and those actually go, so the spring is going to go here, there, and then this ball has to go on top of that, and then that sits on these dentin positions here to provide feedback for when you're in gear. So I got to put that, somehow get that back together when I put. I think what's interesting is that there are these big slots which appear to be for bearings, and they're not. There is no bearing there. I think when they engineered it, they had put nice big bearings there to support the axle. Instead, you have this tiny little bearing way out here on the end. I want to assemble it like this and put the cover on it, fill this up with gear oil first, but I can't because I got to have that ball balancing on the spring there. So I think everything has to be put into that, in which case I got to pull this rubber plug out, which is the fill plug, in order to get gear oil back into it. Right now I'm just cleaning up the surfaces, and then I'm just going to use RTV to make a gasket that goes around there. Oh my God. I think what the problem is, okay, so there's keys that go in here, and I went back and looked at my little pile when I took the wheels off, and there was only one of these. And I think that what happened is that the key from this side, which is a little rusty, came out, and so transmission was actually going around in circles, but it wasn't turning the wheels because of the transmission. So there really was no problem with the transmission that I took apart. And what's really, really funny about that is I was just, as I was putting it back together, thinking about the fact that I've never worked on transmissions, except for that one time back in 1990 when I took the transmission out of my 1970 Volkswagen camper. And I took it, opened it up to see if I could figure out what was wrong with it. Nothing was wrong with it. And I noticed that in the wheel hub, there's splines, and they were stripped out in the wheel. So it wasn't the transmission that was bad. It was just not transmitting the power to the wheels. And that is exactly what happened on this. So this gear has a little flag on it. Make sure it's dialed away from the axle so that it fits into this cutout right here. Otherwise, it won't go together. Ask me how I know. Oh, just in case you think that this thing does anything right there, it doesn't. Don't unscrew it. The plug to fill is right here. It's rubber. It's a little difficult to get out and back in again, but that's the fill hole. Well, all right, let's see if it works now. This is the key that goes in to this slot right here. Let's see if you can see it. Goes in there. And that's keyed to the axle. And I only have one of these, and that's why my lawnmower wasn't working. And nothing really to do with the transmission. So I got to get into one of these. All right, we got the wheels, transmission, the wheels back on. I have lost pieces to the brake, so I got to fix that. But let's see if we can make it roll.